So obviously Nick Clark, MD of Akula Yachts, which I understand is a division that was developed specifically of your security company for the superyacht industry. And I think if you could just tell us a little bit more about Akula.
So Akula was born out of a company called Citadel Maritime, and Akula is a superyacht specific company that's just focused on the security needs of superyachts to the exclusion of all else. So we look at everything from crew training to armed security to unarmed security for the owner.
So we're looking at, potentially as some kind of snowball effect, where if a yacht was subject to any kind of cyber attack or ransomware, they had a facility to inform other yachts. Obviously, this doesn't exist, but would you think that would be a good idea?
I think a simple email is probably the best idea, or some kind of centralised reporting database so that people can report these things anonymously would be an excellent idea. I think yachts are probably slightly better off than commercial shipping, because most yachts will sit on their own network and then they'll be perhaps, but maybe not, associated to the network of the management company. What we see within commercial shipping is that the vessels and the owning or management company will all sit within the same network and the same firewall. Right. So ultimately, were you to breach one of the vessels, you'd breach the entire network of management company and tens of vessels, which are all ultimately sitting behind the same firewall.
I think we've all been there with the with the passwords and having our favourites. It's a difficult one, and I'm hoping that maybe technology will have an answer to this. We've already seen with I can't remember which bank it was. Voice recognition coming in to replace passwords. I know ocular recognition. A lot of these technologies which we're hoping are going to maybe come to our portable devices, a bit like the fingerprint recognition has. As well, which I hope will stop us to all having to remember these very long multi-symbol passwords that we need to have.
Yeah, sure. Probably the best way to remember all those passwords is, ultimately I really only have one password, and that password is for a program on my MacBook called LastPass, and that is a password manager. So it remembers whatever the site maximum is for a password, whether it's 20 characters or 100 characters, I just program it in, the program takes care of it, and all I have to remember is the password to access the program. The way that people will try and access a network is they will focus on a specific individual or a specific group of individuals, and they will work to try and get those people to compromise that network, and they will design some kind of social pretext to get those guys to click on a link, to open a document, open a PDF, whatever it is, and the moment that happens, that external network protection is no longer valid. The government's introducing, I think it's General Data Protection Regulations, GDPR, so that's a act which is a EU act which is coming into force in the UK in 2018, and independently of whether or not Brexit happens, that legislation will be enforced and it will come into force in 2018. And that's going to change the level of fines that people can expect to have. So at the moment, I think the Information Commissioner's Office can fine you up to £500,000 for a data breach. So that's the type of seriousness that the government is putting into this in terms of legislation. So it's going to affect business owners who will be held accountable if they don't take care of this. If you don't clean house yourself, then the government will come. If you have data breaches and you lose money, then they will come and you'll lose some more money.